This is Comic Picks by the Glick.
Hey, and I'm your host, Jason Glick.
Hello, Jason. How are you doing tonight?
Today. Oh, I'm doing great. Well, I mean,
right.
Yeah, it's tonight.
Excellent.
But, it's like, I'm psyched. It's like, this is our 100th podcast.
100. Woo.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Not counting like, not counting like, half podcasts or crossovers or
Nope.
crossover casts, but this is the 100th.
100. Awesome. So what do you have planned for the 100th?
Okay, well, it's like I like to apologize for how I told everyone last time that it was going to be complete self-indulgence, because on one hand, how is like I said this is going to be complete self-indulgence, but then I realized after recording the last one, how is that different than all the other ones I've done so far? Really, people. So really, it's like this podcast, like I said, as you can see on the site, it's a big ass two-parter. It's about the 20 best comics of all time.
Mm-hmm. Of all time?
Of all time, in my opinion, of course. Because, you could talk about, what the 20 most important comics, or just, the ones that, it's like people have to read before they die. But no, we're working off my list here.
There you go.
Yeah, because like I said, I just want to talk about this, because this is basically what I would consider, my canon, my list of the ones that have impacted me the most, and just the ones that, and also more than anything else, these when I loan out my comics to friends, these are kind of the comics that I try to show them. This is okay, here, go ahead. You want interested in comics? Here, let me start you off with this. So this is my list that I work from, that I want, that if there's any justice in the world, these would be selling, as well as Naruto, as well as Watchmen, but yeah, that's the real world, and this is mine, and here I control reality. So
it's my universe, and I'll do what I want to with it. Damn it.
Damn straight. All right, okay. So I think we've hyped things up enough. So let me start. All right, we're starting. This will consist of a list of 10, 20 through 11, and we're starting off with number 20, which is Iron Walk Jan by Shinji Saijo. Now, this is a series about Jan Akiyama. He's a brilliant chef of Chinese cuisine after being ruthlessly mentored by his father, and he is a complete and utter bastard. But the thing is, he is a fucking awesome Chinese cook. And what always gets me about the series is that even though Jan is a complete and utter bastard, almost unlikable, the thing is he really is a genius. It's in terms of just cooking up great dishes, and also Saijo is also really good about setting Jan up against challenges that actually make him seem sympathetic in the long run. Basically putting him up against bigger bastards, or even in some cases having him fail and then fall back on his creativity in order to surmount this challenge. And also what's also great about this series is that Saijo also manages the really tricky task of for any food-based manga. Now I realize this is a really small list of food-based manga, of making the food look good. I mean, it's I look at this stuff and I think, I would like to have a lot of the stuff that John cooks up here. Even the blood eggs, his boiling hot spring rolls. I would love to give everything he does a chance. It's because it's that good, and it's a really great battle manga. And the reason it's not, I will say the reason it's not ranked higher is also because the translation from the late DR Master does get increasingly patchy towards the end, because they as I understand, they ran through a lot of translators getting this. It's getting this series to the end, because a lot of culinary terms. Good Lord, it's lots of research on their end right there, and also the end of the series isn't really an end. It's basically something like an end-shaped object nailed onto the final volume. I understand that Saijo has done a sequel is currently doing a sequel in Japan. Will it be any better than what we got here? I don't know, but we don't need it. Iron Walk Gen is 27 volumes. It is out of print because its publisher is defunct, but still highly recommend. Well, okay, this is we're done. Let me get it started. All this stuff comes highly recommended. I'll try to keep from using that term from here on out. Okay, number 19 is Jonah Hex, Two Gun Mojo, written by Joe Lansdale and illustrated by Tim Truman. Now, this is a series of its time. It's basically when DC Comics Vertigo imprint, and trust me, you're gonna be seeing a lot of them on this list. When they're starting out, and they were offering mature readers' takes on a lot of familiar concepts. Just characters who have fallen by the wayside, and they just wanted, okay, they're not using these characters anymore. Let's give them a new spin on it. And Lansdale's take on Jonah Hex, the deformed gunslinger, strikes me as being like a really perfect crystalline take on this character. I mean, it has a supernatural bent in the sense that Hex is pitted against a warlock who's basically reviving who's basically reviving certain people from the dead, including Wild Bill Hickok, to do his bidding. But Lansdale's language gives it a real flair, and it's not just mature in the sense that it deals in terms of the violence that it deals, as well as the other subjects like cannibalism and whatnot. It's it gives it a real. It really shows you this. It convinced me this is how all Jonah Hex stories should be. They should be have this weird supernatural strange bent to him because he's a weird strange gunslinger, and this is how it should be. I mean, it's really well paced. It's got a lot of character to the dialogue, and it's just so much. It's just so much fun to read. His subsequent miniseries weren't as good, but this one is still one for the ages. And really, it's his take on it was so definitive that I can't enjoy the stories about Hex that have been done prior, as well as Jimmy Palmiotti and Justin Gray's modern take on it. I look at Lansdale and Truman's take. This is it. It's almost a perfectly constructed take of how to take a forgotten character and do a mature reader's take on it. But it's not the definitive one, as you'll see in a little bit. All right, moving on. Number 18 is Poison Elves by the late great Drew Hayes. This series about the exploits of a never do well elf named Lucifer Malche is almost basically a rebuttal to your standard fantasy tropes. I mean, while elves in fantasy literature have been described as just great, noble, almost ethereal creatures, Lucifer is a down, dirty, elf who would just shoot, who just shoot you as have a drink with you instead. It's his take, Hayes' take on fantasy genre is almost a rebuttal to all the stuff you see in the Lord of the Rings. How you have Lucifer match wits with the crazed grave robber, fight off a match and outsmart a malicious wizard, or taking on the misogynist purple marauder. Hayes' take was very distinctive, and just it's really charming in its own way, just in the sense that you like reading about his Lucifer and also his more upright buddy Jace. It's the characters you like, and you just and any series that creates characters you like and will follow just about through any story, whether good or bad. And trust me, there are very few, if any, bad stories with Poison Elves. It's thoroughly enjoyable. But the reason it didn't rank higher is also because of Drew. Like I said, he's the late Drew Hayes, and he passed away several years back. Truly a loss, and I would love to. And if he was still writing, writing and drawing the series today, I'm sure it would have ranked higher. Also, and I will say this, that Hayes wrote the best introductions for any collected editions ever. I mean, like just reading his introductions was just like, he's just talking about what's going on in his life and just like how he got how he started publishing Poison Elves. I mean, like you really get to know the guy, and I won't lie. These introductions are really a large part of why this is on the list right there. Because I mean, you really got to know the guy, and it's also like why I bought the collected edition of his starting notes and death threats letters columns called Death Threats, just to get more of his personality right there. So like that's it right there. But also it's also funny because in one of his Brian Michael Bendis wrote the introduction for Volume 4 of Poison Elves, 2 issues Patrons, which is still a fantastic collection of the series, even if it's only 2 issues. About how, and he talked about the time how he mocked Drew Hayes in his letter column, and then when he met Drew Hayes at a convention, Hayes came to him and said, "Bendis, you're my bitch now." And the reason I'm mentioning this is because the next title on my list. Oops, sorry, I'm looking at my list here. That's coming later, coming right after Poison Elves. Is what is best described as probably the best funny animal comic ever written, to the point where it transcends the description of funny animals. It's really like one of the greatest descriptions of samurai manga ever put to print, and that would be Usagi Yojimbo by Stan Sakai. Now, Usagi Yojimbo is a series about like a wandering ronin, a master of the samurai named Miyamoto Usagi. And the reason it's on the list is basically because like in the 20-odd years and 25 volumes of not 20 25-odd years, 25 plus years of Usagi of the series, and the 25 volumes so far, plus the like hundreds of single issues written, is that in that time I've only read one Usagi Yojimbo story where I've thought, that was kind of bad. I mean, and then everything else has just been either good or excellent. It's like the series means like a good straight baseline of entertaining, as Stan Sakai basically takes basically adapts all the aspects of Japan's feudal era, like both realistic and mythological, into comic book form. And with that there, and then it's like even though the series is like, this is one of the 2 series that is ongoing on my list. The other series that is ongoing, if you can't guess it, well, you're not a real fan then. I'll say you that much, because it should be pretty obvious. But with Usagi Yojimbo, I mean, it's like he's there. The series has never felt like it's going on. I mean, like going on too long. He can go on. He can write this until the day he dies. Even if Stan Sakai never died, he could just keep writing the series forever, because there's so much about feudal Japan just to reinterpret for modern American comic book audience. But even then, like he is also, even when it's like just got a baseline of good, there's been those times when it's transcended that in just like pure greatness. Those usually comes in the forms of the extended storylines, such as the Dragon Bell Conspiracy, the Eisner Award-winning Grasscutter Saga, which you say it's award-winning, but no reason. There's a reason the Grasscutter won the fucking award. It's one of the best Usagi Yojimbo stories ever. But then you also got like the little like one-shot story, 1 or 2 part stories, such as General Ikeda, who was defeated, but then had take up life as a peasant in order to survive, and like seeing him like acclimate to life, and then realize that this is ultimately the more fulfilling life than just being a general. It's like, it was great only to have him reconfronted with the son of the man who defeated him in Grasscutter. Then they also have bits like the origin of Jay, which is a brilliant piece of misdirection, and It's like, and then you've got, and also the recent two-parter with Inspector Ishida. It's a great murder mystery. I mean, like, even when Asagi Jimbo is just good, they're more often than not it will still transcend like into greatness. So I mean, that's why it's on the list. That's why I keep buying it. That's why I buy it in. It's one of the 2 series I buy in single issues. Yes.
That's kind of unusual for you.
Yes, because when Sensekai announced that, Jay was coming back for an arc, which coincidentally is the one arc that I felt has a problem with it. It was like I realized I couldn't wait until it was in trade paperback form. I had to buy this now in single issues. So there you go. Okay, which also reminds me of something else I need to talk about later on. Anyway, but hey, getting back to how Drew Hayes called Brian Michael Bendis his bitch. That was back in the days when Bendis was writing his self-published crime stories through Caliber, and also Image as well. And the best of these is Jinx. And this is a story of a bounty hunter and two ne'er-do-well criminals. One who has a degree of smartness named David Gold, also known as Goldfish, and another. Hang on, John. You're going to need to edit this out real quick.
You're back.
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, sorry. I just had to remember the name for one of the characters for the series. Okay, so Jinx is Jinx is about the story of a bounty hunter named Jinx Almeida, and these 2 criminals, David Gold, also known as Goldfish, and his partner Columbia, who was character model after Bendis himself. They basically wind up in a modern day version of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, as Gold gets his hands on as Gold and Columbia get their hands on like two keys to a multi-million-dollar mob stash, and it's like now while Jinx finds herself entangled with Gold, both romantically and professionally, they've all got to find a way to work together in order to get this money. Now, reading this, I mean, like, Bendis has really made his name at Marvel for his work on Ultimate Spider-Man, Daredevil, Avengers, but Jinx, as well as his other creator-owned stuff, this is what really made him the. This is what really got Marvel's attention. I will say this right there because even though it's not like a really solid, well edited story, just like the rambling bits. I mean, Bendis is great handle for dialogue. I mean, it's just great to listen to these people talk. I mean, they talk like real people. It's like great natural dialogue, and even though Bendis's art, I mean, like, even though it really is highly photo referenced, but it doesn't come off as distractingly so, like say Greg Land's does. It's great. It's consistently compelling, and a thoroughly enjoyable crime story. Like I said, if you want to know why Bendis is why Bendis is so in demand and respected, this will tell you all you need to know about it in the beginning. All right, but it's like as Bendis is now working in squarely in the superhero realm, and he's eventually gonna stop writing Avengers and go back to focusing on creator-owned stuff like his collaborations with Mark Bagley with Brilliant, Alex Maleev and Scarlet, and most importantly Powers, which I hope he fucking gets back to soon. I know he's getting back too soon, but he said so. But still, anyway, he's been working for Marvel this past decade, but still, like one of Marvel's like, he hasn't written any like Marvel series that I really can put on this list right here. However, Grant Morrison has, and if I say like best Grant Morrison Marvel series, really, there's only one to talk about, and that's like New X-Men. Like if you like longtime readers and listeners will know that I am a huge fan of X-Men. It's like because basically after being inoculated into its continuity back in my high school days, you really can't like escape something like that. I mean, like, I've always been, I kept an ear towards the series, and I've always just listen for like a series of when that's going to be like worth my time and money. Morrison's I bought in single issue form, and to be honest, after reading this like in single issue form, I can't really imagine like how anything else could be done better. I mean, even though Morrison is tackling like familiar subjects like the Phoenix, the Shi'ar, Magneto. He still does it in an imaginative way that adds to the mythos. Bits such as the Moon-Dry, Phantom X, like the new Angel and Beak. It's like he does it in a way that's like, and also his Cyclops' psychic affair with Emma Frost. It's like it's a consistently inventive and imaginative take on the series that basically stands as like basically the high watermark for the series, because after because like the series just basically has I still like a lot of the stuff they do for it, but like everything that's been done since just hasn't been as good. I mean, like his concepts still he come back to that from time to time, but it just hasn't had the same like imagination or effect as this has right here. So, but when we're talking about like imaginative takes on superhero subjects, well, there's also there was also like a time when Wildstorm basically like cornered the market on that, when they had this like a series of characters that you just get like a creator like Warren Ellis to just like go nuts on, and you'd get something like Stormwatch, his take on Stormwatch and the Authority. But still, nothing, and I mean nothing, beat Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips' story of a man gone undercover only to go further into the dark abyss of supervillainy than Sleeper, seasons 1 and 2. This is a story of Holden Carver, a man who finds himself in a unique position to go undercover in a criminal organization headed by the villainous Tau, created by a character created by Alan Moore, who's now basically out to destroy the world because he can't really see any reason for it to keep living. So, but the thing is, like with Holden was sent undercover with only one man, who knows of his status, John Lynch. Problem is Lynch is shot in the head and is put into a coma. So now the one person who could exonerate him is now dead, and now Holden has to navigate his dark past of the underworld by himself. And even though he knows the role he's been put into, and he realizes that what he's doing is for the greater good. But even then, when his one out is compromised, and even then when his backup plan is shot to hell as well, he realizes that it's like all I can do is just keep following through to the end. And that's the story of the first season. Second season is when Lynch wakes up and then basically shows him, okay, yeah, now this is what I want you to do, and how he's basically struck in a power play between these two master manipulators, Lynch and Tau, and he knows that no one winds up living too long in this kind of situation. It's a great morally ambiguous take on superhero mythos, and it's like consistently compelling. And also between seasons 1 and 2, I recommend Point Blank, which tells the story of how Lynch got into the coma, which is interesting because while Point Blank was originally meant to be a prelude to the series, I found that it works much better now as a interlude between the two, because whenever I loan this series out to people, I mean, they have no idea what the Wildstorm universe is. So they're not going to give a shit about, say the Authority or Grifter from the Wildcats. But after they've read the first season of The Sleeper, then they'll want to know, well, just how did Lynch get into that coma? This is the story. So basically, it's a great morally ambiguous tale, and that's it right there. Now, this next one, I'm performing like an emergency self-edit right here for number 12, because as I was talking this, I realized about one story, like one particular arc for a series, for the other series that I read in single issue form. That would be Hellblazer, because I'll admit, well, this is originally going to be about Swamp Thing, which is still a great classic series by Alan Moore. I have to give this slot over to Garth Ennis' inaugural Hellblazer story, Dangerous Habits, because man, it's an incredible story that takes like an impossible premise, and just makes it work in a truly brilliant fashion. I mean, this is Garth Ennis' first story on Hellblazer, replacing Jamie Delano, who established a lot of the groundwork from the character after he'd been created by Alan Moore, and this inaugural story, he basically decided, okay, I'm going to kill John Constantine. Now, any longtime comic books reader will let you know that any story where they promise to kill the main character, that's just like a little bullshit. Either they'll do it and just say, we know this is going to happen, so big surprise. Or he finds a way out of it. And like, we know you're faking it. With this one, though, Ennis really, it's like, how John was told the idea of after smoking so many fucking cigarettes. And the guy has his own particular brand, Silk Cut. But the thing is, John has fucked so many people over in his life that he's not just going to die. He's going to hell. And not only is he going to hell, the devil is going to have his soul, and he's going to fuck him up the ass for it. Because not only in this story because as John's trying to find a way out of this, out of going to hell, he also winds up completely fucking over the devil by getting him to drink holy water, and that's part of and that right there is the essence of the cleverness inherent in this story. I mean, that bit is just like the tip of the iceberg. As Constantine, he rationalizes, okay, this is what's going to happen, but now I've made my bed, now I've got to weasel out of it, and weasel out of it he does in a spectacular fashion. That is like a brilliant triple cross that also defined Ennis' run on the series. I will say that this is hands down the best Hellblazer story I ever read, as it also establishes John's magnificent bastardry. It's like, and also just the fact that even as much even though he's going to live forever, but he's just going to wind up sacrificing friends in both good and bad ways throughout the end. But even when he does die and the devil does come to get his soul at the very end, he will ultimately find a way out of it, because he is that clever, as demonstrated here in his brilliant triple cross finale. Fantastic stuff, and definitely it is the one Hellblazer story to buy above all others. That being said, we come to number 11, which is also the reason why one man is considered the god of manga. And that would be Otakiri Hito by Osamu Tezuka. Now, Tezuka's my god of manga nickname is almost kind of an affection, as calling Michael Jackson, the king of pop. But with this though, it's a story of a surgeon who winds up tracking down the origins of this one disease called Monmao, which turns humans into beasts, and how he ends up being the patsy for the head of his hospital, who wants to make his name for basically being the authority on this disease, and he winds up being the patsy for it, and essentially becoming more human as a result. It's a compelling, just disturbing story, mixing in elements like bestiality, rape, nymphomania, in ways that in one hand would just be makes a lot of us American audiences just go, it's creepy, but it's also a perfect example of the melting point where Japanese audiences this stuff was cool with them, but then and American audiences go, ugh, maturity and humanity that actually makes it less exploitative and actually a compelling, meaningful part of the story. I mean, Tezuka. I mean, Vertical has published a lot of Tezuka stuff from his story of Buddha to MW to Blackjack. But if you were to buy just one story to emphasize see why such an important figure, Ode to Kirihito is it. I got the 1-volume edition. This is also available in 2-volume editions as well. Worth your money in either fashion. All right, and that brings us to the end of the first half right there. So I mean, okay, if you want to just take a break, just go get a drink, get back, relax. We'll be back shortly with numbers 10 through 1. So on that note, it's not the end, just a break. Catch you later.
All right, see you in a few.